Are you eating walnuts after 60? Thinking you're doing something wonderful for your heart and brain? Well, I want you to hold on for just a minute. What if I told you that 5 very common, seemingly innocent mistakes could turn this celebrated superfood into something that actively works against your health? Now, before you get alarmed, I'm not saying walnuts are bad. Far from it. They are one of nature's true treasures. But here is the truth. For those of us over 60, how we eat them, how we store them, and even what we eat them with matters more than the food itself. I'm Dr. Gentry, and welcome to the Vibrant Health Journey. Our philosophy here is simple. Health is not a destination. It is a profound journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Today, we are uncovering the 5 biggest walnut mistakes seniors make. And I will provide you with the 5 simple protocols to unlock their true power, ensuring you get all the benefits and none of the hidden dangers. I want to tell you about Margaret. Margaret is 73, a vibrant woman who loves her daily crossword puzzle and a healthy snack. She came to me with her daughter, and they were both still shaken from an incident the week before. Margaret ate walnuts every single day. She'd pop a few in her mouth while watching TV, until one afternoon she popped a few whole nuts in her mouth, and she couldn't breathe. Her airway was completely blocked. Her daughter, thankfully, had been trained in the Heimlich maneuver and was able to dislodge the nut right there in the kitchen. Margaret's story, which thankfully had a good outcome, highlights a very visible danger. But as we talked, I realized she was also making several other mistakes. Invisible dangers that were quietly undermining her health, from her bone density to her energy levels, without her even knowing it. Her story is why this video is so critical. The obvious dangers are just the tip of the iceberg. Before we dive into the mistakes, we must understand one thing. Your body after 60 is not the same body you had at 30. Think of your digestive system as a furnace. In your 30s, it was an industrial inferno. Now it's a gentler, more sophisticated furnace. It requires better fuel, prepared in the right way. But most nutrition advice is still written for that 30-year-old inferno. That's why we run into trouble. The first mistake is buying raw walnuts, opening the bag, and eating them straight out. Here's the science. Walnuts, like many raw nuts, seeds, and grains, contain a natural defense mechanism called phytic acid. Here's the analogy. Think of phytic acid as a mineral lockbox. It's designed by nature to protect the nut's nutrients. But when it enters your gut, it doesn't just protect the nut's minerals. It grabs onto the minerals from all the other food in your stomach. Your iron, your zinc, your magnesium, and especially your calcium. It snaps that lockbox shut, and your body doesn't have the key. So those minerals pass right through you, completely unabsorbed. You are eating your vitamins, but you are not getting them. Think about it. You're taking a calcium supplement for your bones. You're eating spinach for iron. But if you're snacking on raw walnuts nearby, you are essentially flushing those precious minerals and your money right down the toilet. For seniors already at high risk for osteoporosis, this is a battle you can't afford to lose. This is what happened to Margaret, and it is critically important. Eating whole walnuts. Here's the science. As we age, our throat muscles, just like all our other muscles, can weaken. This is called presbyphagia. For those who've had a minor stroke or have Parkinson's, the risk is even higher. Research shows seniors have a 7 times higher risk of choking on food than young children. But the most frightening part is something doctors call silent aspiration. Here's the analogy. Think of your throat as having 2 pipes, one for food to the stomach and one for air to the lungs. A healthy swallow is a perfect seal, sending food down the right pipe. But with weaker muscles, that seal isn't perfect. Silent aspiration is when tiny particles of that walnut go down the wrong pipe, the airway, without you even coughing. It's a leak you can't see or feel, slowly allowing food particles into your lungs. This can lead to aspiration pneumonia, a condition that is devastating for seniors. The third mistake is that jar of walnuts sitting in your pantry. Here's the science. The reason we love walnuts is for their healthy omega-3 fats. But these fats are incredibly delicate. They are vulnerable to heat, light, and air. When they're exposed, like in a pantry or a clear plastic bag, they oxidize. They go rancid. When these fats break down, they create toxic compounds. One of these is called 4-hydroxynonenal, which researchers have found at elevated levels in the brains of patients with Alzheimer's disease. Here's the analogy. Think of those healthy fats as fresh, sweet butter. If you leave that butter on the counter for weeks, it doesn't stay fresh. It turns rancid, bitter, and toxic. Your warm, bright pantry is the counter for your walnuts. They become a toxic time bomb. You might not even taste it, but research shows this breakdown can start in as little as 3 months. You're eating them for brain health, but you may be accidentally ingesting compounds that do the exact opposite. This mistake catches so many people off guard. It's eating walnuts while taking blood-thinning medication. Here's the science. Walnuts are a natural blood thinner thanks to their omega-3s. For most people, this is a benefit. But if you are already taking a prescribed blood thinner, like warfarin or even a daily aspirin, you are doubling up. Here's the analogy. Your medication is a measured dose of water for your plant, prescribed by your doctor. Eating walnuts is like starting a second hose without telling the first person. You're not watering anymore. You're flooding. This double dose can make your blood too thin. What does this look like? It's the mysterious bruise on your arm you don't remember getting. It's your gums bleeding when you brush. It's a small cut that takes far too long to stop. This is a serious interaction that your doctor needs to know about. The final mistake is thinking that because they're healthy, you can eat them without limit. Here's the science. Walnuts are extremely calorie and fat dense. A single ounce, about 7 halves, is 185 calories and 18 grams of fat. For many seniors, that's nearly a third of your entire day's fat allowance. Now you eat your healthy walnuts. But you also had avocado with breakfast. You used olive oil on your salad. You're planning on salmon for dinner. All healthy, but add it all up, and you've created a massive overload. Here's the analogy. After 60, your metabolism is a 1-lane road, not the 4-lane superhighway it was at 30. You cannot send a convoy of healthy fat trucks, walnuts, avocado, salmon, down that 1-lane road all at once. It creates a massive traffic jam. That traffic jam feels like bloating, sluggishness, or even diarrhea. And the excess, it gets stored as body fat. This is why you might be eating healthy but still gaining weight. Now this is where we find our power. I want to tell you about Robert. He came to me with all these issues, low energy, joint pain, and he was frustrated with his weight. He was making all 5 of these mistakes. We didn't ban walnuts. We simply implemented these 5 power protocols. The change was remarkable. Protocol 1 is the activation protocol, replacing mistake 1. This is soaking and roasting. Why? To unlock the mineral lockbox, this simple process breaks down up to 23% of that phytic acid, unlocking the calcium, magnesium, and zinc for your body to finally absorb. Here's how. It's simple. Take your raw walnuts and place them in a bowl. Cover them with water and let them soak overnight, about 8 to 12 hours. In the morning, drain and discard that cloudy water. Spread the damp nuts on a baking sheet. Roast them in your oven at a very low temperature, around 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius, for just 10 to 15 minutes until they are dry and lightly toasted. That's it. Protocol 2 is the safety protocol, replacing mistake 2. This is grind your walnuts. Why? This gives you 100% of the nutritional benefits with 0% of the choking hazard. It completely eliminates the risk of silent aspiration. Here's how. Get a simple coffee grinder and designate it just for nuts and spices. After roasting your walnuts, pulse them in the grinder until they become a coarse meal or a fine walnut dust. Here's the pro tip. This walnut dust is now a superfood ingredient. Stir 1 tablespoon into your morning oatmeal. Blend it into a smoothie or mix it into Greek yogurt with some berries. It adds a rich, nutty flavor and a huge nutritional boost safely. Protocol 3 is the preservation protocol, replacing mistake 3. This is cold and dark storage. Why? To diffuse the toxic time bomb. The cold and dark stops the delicate fats from oxidizing and going rancid. Here's how. By small amounts. After roasting and cooling, store your walnuts in an airtight glass jar, not plastic. Place that jar in your refrigerator, not your pantry. They will last for 6 months. The pro tip? The freezer is even better. They will last for a full year. And always do the smell test. Fresh walnuts smell mild and nutty. Rancid nuts smell sharp, bitter, or like old paint. If you're ever in doubt, throw it out. Protocol 4 is the Harmony Protocol, replacing Mistake 4. This is communicate with your doctor. Why? To ensure your food and your medicine are working together as a team, not fighting each other. Here's how. At your next checkup, tell your doctor you regularly eat walnuts. They need to know this. If you are on blood thinners, your safe portion may be smaller, perhaps 3 or 4 halves per day, not 7. Space them out. If you take fish oil in the morning, have your walnuts in the afternoon, at least 4 hours apart. Protocol 5 is the balance protocol, replacing mistake 5. This is the replacement rule. Why? To prevent the healthy fat traffic jam and manage your energy and weight. Here's how. A 1-ounce serving, about 7 activated ground halves, is your daily limit. And this is the key. Walnuts should be a replacement, not an addition. Here's the pro tip. If you're putting your walnut dust on your salad, use lemon juice and vinegar for your dressing, not olive oil. If you're having walnuts for a snack, maybe choose a leaner protein for dinner instead of salmon. Balance the traffic on your 1-lane road. Now, I get this question all the time. Dr. Gentry, I heard that walnuts look like little brains, so they must be good for the brain. Is that true or just an old wives' tale? This is a fascinating concept called the doctrine of signatures, the idea that a food's appearance tells you its benefit. And for centuries, it was mostly folklore. But here is the amazing part. In the case of walnuts, it's accidentally correct. Not because it looks like a brain, but because it is one of the richest plant sources of DHA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid. DHA is not just good for your brain. It is a literal structural building block of your brain cells. So while the looks-like part is a coincidence, the good-for part is powerful science. Robert's life changed because these protocols gave him the energy to engage with our other pillars. Here's how you can apply this. 1. Mindful eating. The act of soaking and roasting. That's an act of mindfulness. You are intentionally preparing your food. The act of grinding forces you to slow down and treat this food as a powerful ingredient, not a thoughtless snack. 2. Joyful movement. The minerals you now absorb, especially magnesium, are critical for muscle function and preventing cramps. The energy from the balanced fats provides you with sustained fuel. You'll find that walk in the park feels easier and more joyful. 3. Restorative sleep. The magnesium unlocked from your activated walnuts is nature's relaxation mineral. It helps calm the nervous system. The balance of protein and healthy fat also helps stabilize your blood sugar through the night, preventing those 2 a.m. wake-up calls. 4. A resilient mindset. You've transformed fear of choking, of toxins, of weight gain, into empowerment. You didn't ban this wonderful food. You mastered it. You learned the science and took control. That is a resilient mindset. We are a community of learners, empowering each other. Margaret and Robert's stories are powerful, but now I want to hear yours. My question for you today is, which of these 5 walnut mistakes was your biggest aha moment? Was it the soaking, the storage in the fridge, or the interaction with medications? Share your discovery in the comments below. Your insight could be the one that helps another member of our community stay safe and healthy. If you found value in this journey today, please support our mission by hitting that like button. sharing this with someone you love, and of course, subscribing for more deep dives into your vibrant health. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, walnuts aren't good or bad, they are powerful. And now, you have the protocols to use that power correctly. Always remember our philosophy. Health is not a destination. It is a profound journey of self-discovery and empowerment. You took a powerful step on that journey today, and be sure to join me next week. We are going to investigate the 3 healthy morning habits that are secretly spiking your blood pressure before 9 a.m. The answers are going to truly shock you. Until then, be well. Disclaimer: the information provided on this channel is for general informational and educational purposes only, and is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider.